Imagine this. You're late. Again. And suddenly, click. Time freezes. Cars stop. Birds hang in the air. You have 10 full minutes where the entire universe is paused. Except you. Sounds amazing, right? But what would really happen if humans could pause time for just 10 minutes? Let's set the rules first. When you pause time, everything else completely stops. People, wind, sound, light. But you can still move, think, breathe, and touch things. After 10 minutes, time resumes like nothing happened. Okay, let's hit pause. At first, it feels like a superpower jackpot. You walk through a frozen city. Coffee mid-spill. Cars locked inches from crashing. Someone blinking, but never finishing it. You could fix mistakes, avoid accidents, ace exams, pull off the greatest surprise parties in history. But then science quietly taps you on the shoulder and says, "Hey, we should talk." First problem, air. When time is frozen, air molecules are frozen too. That means no moving air, no wind, and more importantly, no fresh air coming into your lungs. If you try to breathe, you'd quickly use up the tiny pocket of air around your face. After that, breathing becomes very uncomfortable. You'd probably need to hold your breath. A lot. Second problem, sound. Sound is moving air. But air isn't moving. So everything is completely silent. No footsteps. No voice. Even snapping your fingers makes nothing. It would feel less like a cool movie moment, and more like being trapped inside a muted screenshot. Now let's talk about touching things. In frozen time, objects have no motion. That sounds good until you realize motion is what makes things flexible. Try to push a door. Normally, atoms move slightly and let it open. Now they don't. The door feels harder than steel. In fact, almost everything would feel impossibly solid. Picking up objects? Nearly impossible. Moving people? Forget it. You're basically a ghost walking through a museum where nothing reacts. And then there's light. Light is always moving. If time stops completely, light freezes too. That means your eyes stop receiving new light. Translation: after a brief moment, you'd go blind. Not permanently, just total darkness for the rest of the pause. So now picture this. You're holding your breath. In silence. In darkness. Surrounded by frozen everything you can barely touch. 10 minutes suddenly feels very long. Now here's the really wild part. When time restarts, all the things you disturbed suddenly snap back into reality. Air rushes. Sound explodes back. Light floods your eyes. If you moved even slightly wrong, you could cause tiny shockwaves. Papers fly. Loose objects fall. Small changes stack up into big consequences. You didn't stop time. You just borrowed it. With interest. So would this power be useful? Yes. In very careful, very short moments. Saving someone from danger. Escaping a bad situation. Fixing a single critical mistake. But as a daily tool, it would be exhausting, risky, and honestly, kind of terrifying. The biggest surprise isn't that pausing time breaks physics. It's that our world only works because everything is always moving. Air, light, sound, life. Freeze it all, and you don't become a god. You become very aware of how fragile reality really is. If you had this power, what would you use your 10 minutes for? Something heroic or something sneaky? Tell me in the comments. And if you enjoyed thinking your way through this frozen universe, hit like, subscribe, and stay curious, because the universe gets way weirder the closer you look.